continues for the pubs market, Scott. You read about it in the paper every day. There's security issues, there is licensing issues, there's hours of operation. It's all impacting on ultimately the income streams and the value of property. So how do you see the year ahead? I understand there's some more changes in the wind for the pub sector.
Thanks, Kevin. There's no doubt that legislation is potentially around the corner that can affect these sorts of venues, but I think the message has to be that common sense is the key. We've spent probably the best part of 20 years liberalising the licensing laws in Victoria, making it the place, in Melbourne in particular, making it the place that it is today, and certainly the envy of many other states. It'd be terrible to see us go backwards from that point. The other thing that I think is well worth mentioning is we have the market leaders in particularly the hotel and pub businesses that have grown out of Melbourne and certainly grown into the other states of Australia, and I certainly see them as continuing in that way. From a legislative perspective, all these issues that have been raised all just add to the cost of the trading operation. Obviously, the reduction in profit as a result of increased costs certainly will affect the value of businesses, and we'd like to see, as I say, a common sense approach to this.
So, of course, gaming's become a big part of the pub's income streams. I understand that there are even more changes ahead for gaming machines in pubs. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
That's probably the biggest talking point in the market at the moment. We've been through a lengthy period where everyone felt that they knew where gaming was actually headed. After the state government's announcement that the duopoly of Tabcorp and Tattersalls would end in 2012, we immediately were put into a position of uncertainty. And I know our valuers were ducking for cover, and all the phones were ringing from the various bankers around town, seeking some clarification as to where the risks might lie and what the future has to hold. We do have an auction of gaming machine entitlements for a 10-year entitlement due to take place in the next couple of months. And the best part about that is once that's out of the way, we'll have what effectively will be 12 years of certainty, 2 years leading into the commencement of a 10-year entitlement in 2012.
Okay, so effectively an eBay-style auction, I understand, for gaming machine rights will be held this year.
That's right, Kevin. You won't be able to buy them on eBay, but it is that style. Certainly, the two key factors will be that you'll certainly have to hold a venue operator's licence, and by 2012, if you haven't already, have a premises that is permitted under planning to undertake gaming.
Is this likely to cause some sort of some operators to leave and say, well, we're out now, and cause more properties to come to the market before the auction? Or, how do you see that playing out?
I see it both ways. I think there's some players in the market that have had a fantastic run since the inception of gaming, and they may see this as a significant enough change for them to cash in and move on. But at the same time, certainly see other people seeing uncertainty being firmed up, and certainly seeing as an opportunity to get into the business.
Okay, so some short-term uncertainty to bring us some long-term certainty in the gaming sector. What about the accommodation side? It's dropped off a little. How do you see it performing at the moment?
Well, last year was a worry nationally on the accommodation front. Certainly, we had a situation with pressure across all sectors of the industry, with reduced corporate travel in particular and leisure travel. What we saw in Melbourne was that it was probably the least affected market. We saw the 3-star end with discretionary travel probably drop off to some degree, and as you would expect, the 5-star market being affected by those travellers that were probably asked to trim the purse strings a little bit and stay 4-star. So from that perspective, I think Melbourne will bounce back. We've certainly got some new supply about to hit the market. We had Hilton at South Wharf open last year, obviously off the back of the convention centre. Just to the rear of the Palladium here, we have what will be Australia's largest hotel, 658 rooms in the Crown Metropole, due to open soon, obviously with great support of the Crown network, etc. and also soon to open in Docklands, the Travel Lodge built as part of the process of constructing 717 Burke Street.
Okay, now all those projects, interestingly, the hotels aren't just built standalone, but they're part of some other mixed-use development. That seems to be the way forward these days.
It does. Certainly that seems to be a key factor in breaking down the initial land cost, but also giving you the opportunity to pull back some value in the early stages. Probably another great example of this is the Western Hotel, which has combined retail at the ground level and obviously some luxury residential at the top, again being able to add some value along the way.
Do you think there are any opportunities left for more new hotels in Melbourne or in Victoria?
We certainly believe there's opportunities in the suburbs. The motel market is constantly ageing. You can only renovate these things so many times. The serviced apartment market has certainly gone a long way to filling part of that gap, but we certainly see that with development of these transport nodal type hubs and greater density of development in certain places, such as Box Hill and probably Moorabbin, there's an opportunity for hotels to go in there. And beyond the metropolitan area, I probably see Ballarat and Bendigo as being a great place to get into, as once you're in there, I see little likelihood of a competitor coming in behind you.
Okay, look, some terrific ideas there, Scott. Thanks for updating us on a sector that's really, it's a wonderful sector. It's always changing, a bit like retail, and still offering some good performance in the short term. All right, thanks, Scott.